Assalamualaikum and hello, my name is Hajrafi binti Abdul Hamid.
Assalamualaikum, and I am Nurul Hanim binti Muhammad Radli.
Together, we're going to show you how to visualize data using pivot table, pivot chart, and also slices.
Since there are two of us, Haj is going to explain what is pivot tables and show you how to visualize the data using the pivot table.
That's right. And Hanim will explain and show you how to visualize those data using pivot chart and also slices. So, are we ready, Hanim?
Of course, and what are you waiting for, Haj? Take it over.
Thank you, Hanim. You must be wondering, what is pivot table? Well, pivot table is a powerful statistic tool that summarizes and recognizes selected columns and rows of data in a spreadsheet or a database to obtain a desired report. Pivot tables are particularly useful if you have long rows or columns that hold values and you need to track the sum of and easily compare to one another. Let me show you how you can use pivot table. For this tutorial, I'm going to use data from the sales transaction July 2014 and here's are the steps. To create pivot table, you need to click on insert and then choose pivot table, which located on the left hand side from your point of view, and this dialog box will appear. The data that you want to analyze, either the data in the existing Excel sheet or you can use from an external data source. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to use the existing data. Highlight the data that you want to summarize by selecting the range for the columns and rows by pressing Ctrl-Shift and press arrow right and down in order to capture the whole data range. Once the data has been selected, you can choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed, either on the new worksheet or existing worksheet. And I'm going to choose to place this table on the new worksheet instead. Click here and then press OK and it will bring you to a new worksheet. On your right side point of view, you can see the pivot table fields pane. This field contains the variables that derive from the previous data that we have chosen earlier. This data will be used to customize our cross-tabulation table by dragging those data into different areas such as filters, columns, rows, and values. Allow me to explain a little bit about these areas. Filters area is an optional filter that you can use to further drill down in the data set. Columns area are the headings at the top of the values area. The headings to the left of the values area makes the rows area, while the value area is what holds the calculation of values of the data. For instance, we want to know the number of sales that has been made according to the region and also the product. What we need to do is choose and drag the region variables into the rows, while the product variables to the column. As for the values, we will choose the customer information, or in this case, customer's ID. Put it into the values. If you notice, the number on the table does not indicate the number of sales, instead the sum of customer's ID. Therefore, you need to change the setting by clicking here at the drop-down button and select the value field setting and change it into count, press OK, and voila! Now you are able to obtain the number of sales according to the region and also the product. If you want to get the specific details from the data, this is where filters comes in handy. You must be wondering, what does it mean and how does it work? Okay, for example, you want to know the payment type for the sales occurred. All you need to do is select the payment variable and drag it into the filters. Once you've done that, you can see the source field will appear up here. Next to the source field, the drop-down button will set all as default. Click on the drop-down button and you can choose payment made either by credit or PayPal. If you want to know the number of customers that made payment using credit, click on credit and click OK, and you can see the number of customers paid by credit are 299. And if you choose PayPal, the numbers are at 173 customers. Let me change this back to all. Another example that you would want to know which source contributed more on the sales either through web or email according to regions. All you need to do is select the source variable and drag it into rows. Here you can see that the East region, most customer prefers to make the purchase using web compared to the email. Do take note, if you have more than one variable, the first variable will always become the header like this. For example, if you choose the source to be on top, automatically it will become the header. So before I hand over to Hanim for the rest of the tutorial, let me change this back.
Wow, Has, that's great. And it's very useful if we have a lot of data to analyze.
That's right, Hanim. And once you have mastered it, it will take you less than a minute to build one.
That is correct. Now, allow me to take over and show you how to visualize those data using the pivot chart and slices. Before that, what is pivot chart and slices? Pivot chart is a visualization to the summary data in the pivot tables that allow us to see the comparison, patterns, and trends. And slicer is a visual filter or interactive button for drilling down to slice and display a subset data in the pivot table, and also known as a filter. Let's continue pivot charts and slices using the existing pivot tables data. To create a pivot chart from the Analyze tabs in the Pivot Table tools, click on the Pivot Chart buttons on the Excel ribbon. The Excel will show you the Insert Chart dialogs that allow you to choose the type of chart that you wish to display. I choose the 3D clustered column, then click OK. Automatically, the pivot chart here appears corresponding to the pivot tables data that allow you to see the comparison, pattern, and trends. And also by clicking the Design tab on the Pivot Chart tools here, you can switch the rows and columns to display on alternate view of your charts, and you can change the chart type entirely. To create a slices, go to Pivot Chart Tools ribbon, click on Analyze tabs and choose Insert Slices. And then here a list of the variables that you can choose from. This option appears and allows you to slice your data by your preference. In this case, I choose source as a slices, then click OK. From this dialog tab appears, you can click on one of the source button here, emails or webs. So the pivot tables and the pivot chart will reflect by those records corresponding to that source. For example, if we click on the emails, so the chart automatically change corresponding to the data and show you 129 total of customer use email as the order source.
That's great, Hanim, and it is so easy to use. As you can see, Pivot Table is indeed a powerful statistic tool that summarizes and recognizes selected columns and rows of data in a spreadsheet or database to obtain a desired report.
That's right. And in order to visualize data in the pivot tables, pivot charts come in handy, where it allows us to see the comparison, patterns, and trends. And slicer, as known as a filter, is visual filter or interactive buttons that allow us to see what item has been chosen within the pivot table.
I guess we have covered the most important details on visualizing data using Pivot Table, Pivot Chart, and also slices. With that, we want to say thank you for watching. Bye.
And stay safe everyone. Bye. Assalamualaikum.